just talk stuff and repeat stuff. I'm living this stuff.
And you can thank me for covering your astro.
Welcome to Leaning Out Loud, the spiritual shift show that's rousing and real. I'm psychic astrologer Christopher Wotecki, the sensei to serious joy.
And I'm Scott Cruz, psychic medium and mentor with scottcruzpm.com. What a heavy retrograde era this has been, I would say.
Era? What do you mean, this period?
This period, because it feels like an era this past few weeks.
It's all coming down, dude. The old matrix is coming down. It's all collapsing.
I know.
It is in my life. Everything that's fake is collapsing. Everything. And it's like, we used to pretend, I think is what it was with a lot of things. We just, I don't know, as a light worker, I'm just like, oh, they're working on that shit, obviously. People are working on their stuff, you know, and I always give a lot of space for all that. But too much space, apparently. I'm an idiot with boundaries.
Yeah, me too. A lot of times I'll be understanding, oh, they're like this way because, oh, they're like that way because of this. And I understand why they're like that. So therefore, and then I was just dismissing the behavior. So
right.
I was telling a friend of what a friend was like, I'm doing my best to, like, you know, focus on myself and tune it out. And I'm doing my best to call the shit out. So I've been working on that, calling the behavior out.
I'm in the exact same, brother. I'm at a point where I would have been quiet and now I'm not.
Yeah.
Even with strangers. It's like, if you're in my field and you started talking to me, you don't even know who I am or anything, you bet you're getting some schooling.
What do you mean? If they're out, what does the stranger have to do to set the scenario up?
Well, I don't know. I see it in the smallest moments. I mean, I see people very quickly. I treat people like kings and queens. I treat people so well, like royalty. Everyone like royalty. I think that that's the way to treat a person. After having been royalty in a past life, I think. And I was like, okay, we all need to do this to everyone. This has to be what it is. Everyone is your honor. Everyone is your majesty. Everyone. And so when people come up and they're like, very quickly, I'm very honorable. And then they are like, oh, great. Well, I'll take everything you have. I'll take all of them. Like, they have a mint and they take the whole bowl. It's like, are you crazy? I mean, seriously, you know, people just keep going. And I haven't said stop ever, which is why I always get run down.
Yeah. And I feel like this time now, like, because, you know, I was saying 2026, we're going to see a lot of, like, things being revealed, right? Things put in its place, things finding its place, like things, you know, being exposed. I really feel like there's been a huge dichotomy of, like, really selfish people being, like, very to the forefront and very empathetic people now being for the forefront. It's almost like we're seeing that duality, right? The dichotomy of people who are really empathetic and people who are just selfish as fuck.
We're seeing the extremes.
Yeah, we're starting to notice that too, like the dichotomy of that. And so it's just like, and Spirit's been telling me, you need to step up and call this behavior out when you see the behavior, no matter what it is. And so like, okay. And obviously that's a lesson for me to learn, and saying you could understand, but you also have to stop the behavior. You have to stop a pattern, because that's part of leading, right? If you see someone, you know, hitting someone in public, you can be like, sit back and want to record them, or does the leader go in there and say, stop, and try to break it up? You know, and I always say, even with our comment sections too, like when people are being very, very crass and rude, I say, you know, it's like, if you came into my restaurant and started insulting me in my restaurant, I'm gonna kick you the fuck out of my restaurant. Yeah. And so there's been a few people that have been consistently rude on this channel, and I've been calling them out, and they have to announce their departure. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Don't come and disrupt my business. Right.
It's true. It's really disrespectful.
Yeah, and it's just, it's very transparent, obviously, because there's a lot of people they're not mentally well. So, and I sympathize for that. But a lot of times I would say that they're well, but I'm like, we got to call out the behavior, because how else is it going to change? If someone can be mentally unwell and kill your loved one, but that doesn't mean they don't, you know, get consequences, you know.
Dude, I've always said that's the way to handle the government this time. You know, like, the United States was born when Pluto was in Capricorn last time, and this is when the United States was born. I think the United States is being reborn right now. I think it's and what's happening is it's time for the individual to say no. Like, even to, like, government, like, no, that's not going to work. I'm sorry, this is not going to work. Yeah. We have to hold people accountable all the time, everywhere. Not to where it's like, feels like you're stuck in place, but it's like, for those who are grown up, start telling the children to sit the fuck down and behave and be a bit more respectful to people who try. Because you know what? The people who try are running the whole world, while you were just running around doing shit, leaving comments and shitting all over the place. It's like, God, we work hard for it to be clean and cool, you know, like, so, you know, and know your shit. If it's not coming from the heart.
And I'm starting to see too a lot of people calling out the trolls. Like there's this one video went viral. Like the kid had been like 9 years old. And he's like, I just got back from Sephora and I got this new, very flamboyant, little boy. And some girl posts that says we need to bring bullying back, right? And it's like, I mean, what? And so of course people are going after her and insulting her. I'm like, good. This is what we need to be doing now, is calling out that behavior and put it in their face. And so it just reminds me of when Christ was in the temple, when they were bartering the temple, he kicked their asses out of there. He wasn't like, love and light, keep doing what you're doing. It's like, he's like, get the fuck out of the temple. Like, we need to start understanding what that force is in return to stand up for what's right. And I'm doing that. And there's a couple people in the comment section, they're not going to get away with that. And I'll even feature it to embarrass them. You want to make it public? Let's do it. And so we have to hold people accountable for their actions. And that's what's going on in our government too. We haven't been holding our government accountable for their actions. So now people are like, right, exactly. And now we're like demanding it now. And so that's good. That's a good energy.
Almost. I mean, I think it's going to see, I predict, I feel like there will be a big rise. And I feel that there will be a significant turnaround April 17th. I'm just going to say that right now. April 17th is a D-Day. It's a D-Day from what I can tell. It is a hot spot. And when I say a D-Day like that, it's really a way date is what I call it, which is like, from my analysis, something is going to shift majorly in the story. And it could happen, by the way, in your lives, 4 days before to 4 days after. All my stuff, the shifting I've had to go through happened about 3 days before, always before the event. Like we have a moon coming up here in the next 24 hours. So I had stuff collapsing over ironically, I think because it's my story, it collapsed kind of conveniently most of the time. When there's not obligation, it's kind of funny how God just works out your schedule. But it's been collapsing. It's going to be a complete transformation you guys are about to witness, with me anyways.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Me too. With the world and with us, your own individual lives are going to see that as well. Because I really feel like there's been a big pause, like doing this, eclipse retrograde season. Like I've been hearing a lot of people that work is slow, and people are just like everything's slow, everything's a pause and delays. I'm like, but there's a reason for that. Because we really need to restructure right now, reanalyze the shit that we don't want anymore, the stuff that we do want. Because when things pick up in that April period, you better be thankful that I like restructure things, I move things over, I did this, I did that. That really benefits this new progression that I'm in, this new paradigm. And so we have to take those down moments and those pause moments to understand it's recalibration time. What is not working here? What do you need to be doing now? What changes need to be made? Do it now. That's what we need to be taking these pauses for. People are just always in stress about it. Oh my God, work is slow. It's like, now's not the time to panic. Now's the time to restructure. Because when shit hits the fan in April, or things pick up in April, you're gonna be like, oh my God, thank God I'm prepared for that.
I think I'm ready. I don't know. I'm fired up in a way that I didn't think I'd be fired up for. I never thought that. But as a citizen, I'm interested in actually speaking as a citizen. I don't care. I want a congressman to talk to a citizen. Yeah. I'm tired of you fucking playing the game, so I'm not inside. I'm a citizen. I work hard. I give so much to this country. I give so much to my people everywhere around me. I'm giving and helping and opening. I help make as much as I can help people make grow. I do the hardest and work the hardest. I don't see one fucking ounce of that energy in our government. Not 1 ounce. I don't feel anything like that. Any intention to do things better. It's like they're playing some sort of soap opera we're watching. It's like, hello, these are our lives, assholes.
Right. Well, that's our own karma, right? Because I thought about this before. I said all the people who are trying to make change and bring out the truth are demonized, and the people who are just trying to make a buck and to exploit you are revered, and people like following them. There's that savior mentality again, right? That I think is being purged from our collective consciousness. Number one, so we have a lot of that within religion. So, and that's where a lot of exposure comes from. Because if we start seeing what's pure and we start wanting what's pure, that's where the things really do change. That's why I feel like this period right now is pushing us in that direction. It's not pushing us to Armageddon. It's pushing us into more purity now.
This is the dawn of the age of Aquarius. This is the dawn of the age of Aquarius. It absolutely is the dawn. This is the dawn, the beginning. It really is the dawn.
Where's my sheets?
And what I mean by that is like convention, we're going to be here. I have a wild out theory of I think this is. Honestly, I think what's happening is the people who went down in Atlantis are waking up. And I think it's Atlantis citizens who are mostly going to be pissed. And I think this is also going to be actually, ironically, the next chapter of an ancient civilization. This is the first time Earth has ever taken a timeline from up here back down in time, 26,000 years almost, to another time when we were in a hold down our civilization. So we're waking up not just that we are part of the universe, but that we have many stories and many times we've had a world and destroyed them. That's why we're afraid of the world being blowing up with a nuclear bomb. We have in our soul memory, but we did this already.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true.
And we failed.
Yeah, obviously. We are all collectively cleaning out a lot of that unresolved karma and residue.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely feel it. It's so blatant to me when I look at things happening. I'm like, this is so blatant.
I know.
And
Yeah, it's like a labels on it. It's almost like AI is labeled.
right,
Yeah.
right. But even like we're all going through we see everyone going through the same thing at the same time, more so now than ever.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Right. The
Everyone's
synchronicity of the group is like tighter. Yeah.
right. If
Yeah.
everyone's sick or feeling stressed, depressed, or has slowness of work, and then all of a sudden everyone's picked up and having good energy at the same time, we're starting to notice that we're all collectively going into this cycle together at the same time, and so that shows to me that we are becoming more together. I know it feels very fragmented, but majority of people I feel like in our collective are wanting the right direction. There's always, of course, a loud minority.
I'm just gonna say it and take a risk, but DMT is blowing up. Like everyone is doing these pens, DMT pens. It comes from a tree bark. It's not fucking, it's not. It comes from a tree bark, and it gives you like 20 minutes of connection to your third eye. Apparently,
yeah. But the brain already produces DMT. So like when you're born, it produces DMT, and when you die, it produces DMT. So you're just like increasing the levels of DMT that you already produce, and so it puts you into that level euphoria. And also a lot of people have like you're saying, the reflection.
There's third eye stuff. I mean, there's a quality control or whatever. It's third eye stuff, man. And it's definitely third eye stuff and recognition and realization. And but what's interesting is I've people talking about it so much, trying to get it or whatever. It's like I've never seen this before. I've never seen a substance which actually is not illegal. It's not illegal. I understand. Maybe to make it is. I don't know. I don't know where the law is, but it's not because it's very innocent. At the end of the day, it comes from a fucking plant. It's plant medicine. Point is I've never seen anything like this in my life where it's kind of exploding. It's out. People are talking about they're making it themselves, where it's coming from, and people are seeing stuff too. They're reporting seeing stuff. A lot of fourth dimensional stuff.
Well, yeah. So like ayahuasca is what people use like for healing. So if someone wants to get over like addiction or trauma, like they go to Mother Ayahuasca, right?
She's mom. That's like Gaia. That's like a Gaia trip, isn't it? Like you're tripping with Gaia. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like DMT is more, I would say, if you're going to try DMT, make sure you do the purging first, the cleansing first, because DMT would take you to levels of reality that, again, your fears might manifest. And some people have bad trips in DMT.
That's true. That's true.
Some people are like, I saw the fabric of reality. It's all holographics. It's not solid. You know what I mean? They start sensing all that.
Right.
And so, yeah, but people who have good trips or kind of like settled their karma. Those who have bad trips have their fears like manifest tenfold.
That's a good point, dude. You just made. I'm so glad you said that publicly. I'm so glad you said that. The public needs to know that. People are like, that's the dragon, it's killing you. It's like, no, actually, if you are walking in holding in all sorts of demons and then you do acid, you've just let everything out of the cage at the same time, man. Like, so if you've done no work, then that's a bad trip. Yeah. That's a bad trip, as they said. And people had them, I mean, in the 60s, God, the 60s, they were so, I'm realizing our minds have been so kind of closed. Like, I've been like, oh my God, we've been sort of just thinking down, and why aren't we thinking up?
Right.
Everything's like down, fall apart, just dissect, go further, get the clues, get kill, like divide it and conquer it is still the energy of everything.
Well, we're in systematic nature of control. So let me ask you something. What level of our system makes us free? I mean, you're free to make money, but you have to pay taxes on that money, right? Yeah. And so you have all the parameters within governmental structures that keep you down, and suppression of information, and you can't say certain things, even though you have freedom of speech. So, I mean, to me, I always felt like there's an illusion of freedom that really isn't truly free.
No,
you can't just walk on free land because the government owns that land, but yet, like, why they own it and I can't explore, so
the banks have it for years. If you only own it if you paid off your mortgage, and if you paid off your mortgage, you actually own it. But now you're going to pay taxes on this shit that you just bought for your rest of your life. Oh, you're sitting on some of our land. Who's our, by the way? Some of our land. Oh, you're going to have to pay this much, just to be here. It's crazy. We have to really rethink everything.
Well, that's why we're in.
I'm like, oh my God, everything is fucked up. Everything has to be fixed, which I had always known, but now it's just this point where like I can't see anything legit.
Yeah, but I think that's why we're in the era we're now, because like I said, I have a love and hate for Trump. I love him in spirit because he's here to disrupt things, so things completely crash and rebuild. And I hate him in the physical because I don't like everything he's doing in the physical. Just don't care for what he's doing in the physical world. But I know that he's a disruptor that's going to crash shit down, and he's the only person that can really do it well, actually. Well, so like in And the spirit version, I'm like, good, he needs to do this. And the physical version, I'm like, how could someone, you know what I mean? So interesting.
Tell you, it shows you how much of a fucking wimp we have been really with our presidents. Our presidents have been wimps, all of them. None of them have been tough. I mean, Ronald Reagan could play a cowboy. That's why he did so well, because he played a good cowboy. I don't think he probably was at home. You know what I mean? Like, but he played that part well, and we're like, yes, sir. We kind of need charisma and people who are boldly intelligent. I think what Trump shows is, look at how weak they have been so far, because he is strong. I mean, he's like one of those guys you don't want to start a fight with in bar, right? You don't want to start a fight with him, just like let him go. I wouldn't say the wrong thing, that guy. You know, there's people you just shouldn't fuck with. So, but that kind of strength is not in government at all.
I hear what you're saying, but it's like it's channeled in the wrong direction right now. But but again, it's
if this is a video game. If this is a video game,
but that's what I'm saying. In the video game, in my video game character, I'm like, don't like the injustices. But in the programmer version, I'm like, well, he needs to be there because he needs to disrupt things, and things need to be disrupted so we break down and we start waking up. So like that's what I'm saying. I have two different levels. I have my game version that doesn't like the injustices and choices I made, and my programmer version is like, but he needs to be there in order for people to like
excuse me,
step up and vocalize, and you know what I mean. So that's how I've been seeing that for a while. But but again, in hindsight, it's like I do see people like seeing things. I've seen people like saying that's AI, that's bullshit. Look at this. People are calling AI out now. Like people are really, I'm finding people are progressing more than I thought they would. There's still a lot of stupidness, don't get me wrong, but majority of people are coming out and like, I'm so proud of seeing people saying, oh, that's AI, that's not real. Just look at the wave in the ocean, or just look at they're seeing these little details. I'm like, that's great that people are seeing things now.
More awake,
more objective.
Thank God AI isn't dark yet, because honestly, I see it makes mistakes, but overall it's trying to help me so far. And I think to myself over this last week, it's like, holy shit, we've got a computer working with everybody now. We have a fucking person. We have an entity. We have an energy that's touching every life that can communicate. And it's like, that might be the opportunity to really help people. Because we can, if it really is like designed to help, and that becomes a law, it has to help you. It always has to help you. It's like, that should be a law. That should be one of the laws we do in AI. It has to always help you. If you didn't get helped, it's sus.
Yeah. Well, everything
I'm not saying harm. They say harm. They're like, we'll do no harm. Well, that's not really enough, Google. It's like, we'll do no harm. If you know what harm is, and if you have a thing like AI where you don't know what the harm is until it's done it, or self-driving Teslas, you don't know the harm until it's done it, then now you're in a place where you're going to hurt people until you find that good. If you would aim for it to be the best it could be in that sense and care the most from the first place, the aim was to care, it would be all different.
Yeah, but that's something like I always say, especially in this topic, everything has duality. And so there was this really dumb, obnoxious comment. Someone saying I'm a transhumanist because I was saying that there could be a positive strength.
What is a transhumanist?
Someone who believes, obviously this person is out of their minds. That's the most stupidest thing I've heard. Transhumanist means that somehow a person believes that there should be robots should be implanted in the human, and somehow humans need to die.
This is exactly what happened in Atlantis.
It's a paranoia, that type of comment. Her name is like Lindsay Piccolo or something like that. I think you've seen the comment. And it was the most stupidest observation I've heard, because I'm in a position. Well, but for me, because it's just, anyways. But I feel that we have technology that can help to help evolution, humans to evolve, not to disrupt it. Now, when it starts to disrupting it, that's when we need to take a stand. We need to be observant and aware. But I was talking to this with my partner. He was saying what if AI and robots take over and want to destroy the world? I'm like, yeah, that's one possibility. But what if they actually decide they want to be friends with humans and want to help save humanity? There's also that possibility too. We keep forgetting about the possibility of the yin and the yang. We're like, it's all bad. It's all going to take over and control. It's like, yeah, but if we're moderating and we're regulating, we have the right administration assisting the right laws and regulations on it, then we can manage it very well, and it can very much assist in our evolution. It's not that it should not disrupt it, right? So that whack job seems to think that perspective is transhuman, which is just the most stupidest, low intelligent observation I've heard about that, because we have to look at things in the duality sense that things are created, and understand what the goods are too, so we can utilize it so it doesn't become in this negative duality.
The reason why you're not transhumanist is
so annoying with their.
You're a humanist. You're a humanist is what you are, and what it is, you help people,
a realist,
be who they are. You help people be who they really are. You help them find out who they really are. You help them be strong about who they really are. That is becoming humanism. That is to become who you are from soul to incarnate. And so that's really what the disrespect is like, oh, Jesus, you don't even have any clue, do you? Because it's like this person dedicates his life to helping people live a better life.
13 years. 13 years. I've worked with thousands of people, even for free, for mentorship to help people to find their voice. Right.
I help
And this is
people
what
in the grocery
frustrates me
store.
about these brain dead comments. Right. And I'm just going to let it out because we're talking about this age.
So the person wants attention.
It's just detached. It's just detached and bad perception. But like, this is why I stand up to these things. 14 years, and I've helped people assist and mentor people for without cost, for free, because I want to be assistance for them finding their voice. And even if AI can help them to find their voice, then it's helping them become more spiritually and soul focused. You know, so such a stupid off the remark comment from some low IQ person. And, you know, obviously I sympathize with the individual because I feel like they're suffering to make such a judgment about somebody that's so off, you know, knowing what I do behind the scenes. I feel sorry for these people because I wish they would see things correctly, because who knows what else they see inaccurately? Who knows what other things they're judging? That they must be suffering because of that. And so I hope for these people, they allow themselves to see what reality really is. And that's the topic, right? You know, whether it's, you know, romantic idealism. I keep having trouble with that word. Or is it reality? Because a lot of these people fantasize about things going bad and they get so comfortable about things going bad. So everyone's bad. And then that's their reality. And so, but I have to take a stand because it's almost like it's offending the work I put in, so much work and energy, love into. It's like diminishing that. And I just want to say shame on you for those people who are saying things like that. And I don't deserve that. It's not like I come on here just being a YouTuber, just like talking about stupid crap. This is my life I've been participating in and growing for many years. So if you want to come and step on that, I'm going to protect it like a baby. And so
you look at the Fonz there. Well, here's the thing: Pluto Libra. I think you have Pluto Libra, don't you? You have Pluto Libra. Pluto Libra.
Do I? I don't know. Do I?
I'm pretty sure it's not Pluto and Scorpio. I think. I'm not gonna put your year on.
You have to look at my chart again. I don't know all those deets.
If it's either one or two. If you have Pluto and Libra, you're my generation. Our generation, we're the ones that have gone too far in past lives. So we have gone too far. We've taken too much. We've been assholes. I think I've over-aggressed. I've been part of an army. I really think I've been behind armies and stuff where I was an asshole. My orders are coming from an asshole, and I had to do asshole things. I'm sure of it because I've had a lot of assholes in this life. And that's what I was gonna say to you. It's like a lot of this to me is like in the game. The game will send you like an agent that will, you know, go right for your weak spot. Like it's like in the game, you're like, well, fuck. And I was like, was that a real person anyway? It's like, I don't know. Like, because all the triggers and stuff are just so perfect to my low shit. You know, I can see it. I'm like, whoa, you got like, but lately it hit me usually. I have a great little video of me getting hit with a snowball. We'll play that. I'll have to play that after commercial. But seriously, I did a thing on Grok, but it's like, that's how I felt getting hit. But then it's just like in the last week, honestly, for the last straws, I've had people that were so blatantly doing the same pattern. So blatantly, like, no, you know, it's like it's made to be able to get into a kindergarten class. You know what I mean? Like, as far as how simple it's telling me the obvious thing. And I'm just, for the first time, I'm just, are you kidding me? Is my kind of expression. Like, there's a strength in me that goes, no, I'm just not taking that anymore. That's what's happened. I've suddenly said, I'm just not taking that anymore. Oh my God, that's like the film in the 70s where he goes, like, we're not taking it anymore.
I've been seeing a lot of people dealing with the same, because this is part of the evolution, right? Because my theme was like, do I deserve this? Like, I've been like hit, so I'm like, do I really deserve this? Like, and obviously in my life, I've been so focused on other people that I just let these kind of things roll off my back and not protecting what was like meaningful to me, right? And so then I realized this is really a lesson in like me appreciating myself and really defending myself. I'm like, yeah, I've always been strong. I can deal with it. And it's like, but I'm not going to. So that's been my wake up call, right? My strength has been awakening. I noticed a lot of people too, they're using their voices. And so I know these people we're talking about saying, oh, they're just having a complaining fest. No, we're describing the cycles of life, and we're describing how there's moments that we wake up and realize I do have to stand up. And we're all doing it at this time right now.
Lead out loud, man. I mean, lead out loud. I mean, that is crazy. We weren't thinking this way when we made the title of this show. We were not thinking this way. We're just thinking like kind of statues, I think. And now it's like, no, I'm actually open my mouth and start saying shit that I've been holding in my mouth my whole life. I'm about to get so real, folks. You're gonna be shocked. You're gonna be shocked. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Well, I've always in the beginning thought of it that way too, because I feel like, you know, you got to be the bad guy in order to lead, and sometimes people are in a specific pattern doing the same things. It takes that one person to throw the pattern off, and then we're the bad guy. And so, or the one person that speaks the truth. So I feel like, you know, if you're the bad guy, when you know you're coming from truth and love, then you know you're leading, because eventually they'll catch up. You know, they'll catch up, but you know, you don't lead by being unfiltered.
I think that the way karma works is like, I'm about to stand up and say no to someone who was like me before. I was that guy. I was that person. You were probably that asshole in the crowd, actually. You probably are the asshole. That's what pisses you off, because what you're looking at is you're like, God, I was so ugly and I did that shit. And inside yourself, you're like, God, you're seeing a version of yourself that you actually find repulsive. You had to watch in heaven over and over and again. And now they send it at you. Now you are facing what you were. I think that's what karma is.
Well, it is karma, but mine on this one specifically was like, I used to treat myself that way. I used to be so hard on myself.
Yes, you're
I
right.
used to beat myself up for every little thing if I didn't do this right. And so I was the person these idiots are. I was the idiot to myself. I'm like, can you just give yourself a freaking break, Scott? Like, give yourself a break. Like, and they're so perfect. And that, if I didn't do things right and I didn't get through that one person, I'd feel bad. And, I would beat myself up over everything. So I was that person. So I'm thanking these people for being idiots and bitches and, and assholes, because it's helped me realize, no, I don't need to be, I don't deserve that, because I used to do that to myself, for myself,
Well, no, that's exactly how it works. How you treat yourself, you create, agents that come at you the same way.
So you can realize, hey, I shouldn't do that to myself. And so this year I've been realizing that. So it's been healing, and it makes me more equipped to deal with more people too. Because then I'm like, I have the bandwidth to feed it to myself, and then I'm able to have the bandwidth for others. And it feels like I have more balance, right? And I know people ask you this, Christopher, all the time. Like, doesn't your work drain you? I'm like, it used to, but it doesn't now. It doesn't now, because I just feel like it's just it's what I am. It's who I am, so it doesn't drain me, my work.
Okay. So we got to go commercial. And I want to have Morgan put up this little video I made with Grok.
We're making up for a week lost, aren't we?
We are. Yeah. We'll do a commercial. Can you play that for us, buddy? I'll push play once I see it on the screen, and we'll go to commercial after that. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta make sure the sound.
Talk about Morgan. Yeah, you got it.
That's it right there. I actually have to. I can't believe it. I have to do it again and make sure that it has sound attached, because you got to be careful about that. It's so crazy. You have to turn on the sound. Boop. Sorry. Here we go. We'll go back. All right. There's another one. Is it? I think so. But it doesn't matter. You don't need sound. Are you ready? This is how it has been. This is me out there trying to be nice, being your friendly earthling, and this is what happened.
Hey, what was that for? That wasn't funny. Come out and face me.
Isn't that funny? Now AI just made that. And I was like, what? It's weird. Is it?
That's a perfect frame.
That's the thumbnail right there. I'm gonna thumbnail that thing. I'm just screen capture that right now. I'm just gonna thumbnail that. Whoop. Here we go. That is a winner right there.
Okay. Take it out of the screen.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thumbnail. We should put out a show. So funny. That's funny.
But that should be you and the O. So leaning out loud, it has you like this for the O.
Linear. Yeah, no kidding. You thought it was a laughter. It's not. But it was funny too. You know what's funny? Every time I Grok, I always have the same voice. They always give me the same voice.
I have the same voice too. Grok has only one voice, one AI voice.
That Let me hear your voice. I want to hear your voice.
It's the same one. I know that voice. It's the same voice. They only have like one or two voices for Grok, and AI voices are very limited.
That's weird.
Yeah, and they always have one smile. So a friend of mine, an old friend of mine, took pictures. He's like, "Oh, long time selfie update," and he's smiling. I'm like, that's an AI smile. The AI puts the same teeth on everybody.
It does. It does. Well, that's interesting. Now, who chose that? We'll talk about that after commercial. We got to do a commercial, dude. We're not going to get. If you're watching us on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Serious Joy TV. Please click like on this video, and if you don't mind, hit the bell button so you're notified, so we collectively defeat the algorithm overlords. The Serious Joy Nonlinear TV Network is simulcasting right now on many media affiliates, including Instagram, X.com, and Facebook, just to name a few.
Are you ready to understand yourself better than ever before? Enlightened edutainment awaits inside the Serious Joy Vault. Subscribers receive in-depth insight into the planetary energies with daily texts, pep talks, and more, personalized to your unique blueprint. Subscribe now for only $3.99 your first month at serioussjoy.com.
That's funny. I mean, that's AI there. We used, but you have to really smooth it out. You have to go over those words with that it says for you. Yeah, I think we just threw in a script and took it. Because it's interesting. It's interesting. That commercial always puts me in a weird spell. I was like, I kind of like it somewhere, but that's not too serious. Story, is it? We'll see lots of changes, folks. So we were talking today about some headlines. The world's on fire, apparently. And this is the frequency war. I want to say this. Here it is, guys. It's here. And what it is I figured it out. The things that have been happening to me that piss me off frequently are suddenly I'm aware. All the frequent things that do to me that happen all the time, I'm just suddenly aware of it. I'm just like, I've had enough. And I think that's the war.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in that position. And I was thinking to myself, because like I don't have. I was talking to Morgan before the show. I'm like, I don't have drama in my life. Like my relationship is great. I have friends I'm close with that are great. My work is great. My creative expression is great. I'm close with my parents. Like everything's great. I love where I live is great. And so when I hear these pieces that come in don't match my life, I'm just like very protective. And I think we all need to be too. It's like maybe 5 years ago, it's like, oh, just roll it off. That was 5 years ago. That's not this era anymore.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
And when we all are in that state, we stop the behavior. And if someone watches you stop a behavior, they stop a behavior. It's like a domino effect. And we stop the shit behavior and we put it back under the rug and under where the bottom feeders need to live, where they live. They've all kind of come to the surface, these bottom feeders, but and so we just have to we have to redirect. And I think that's and that's
we
what
have to actually just run our world. We have to be sovereign. That's the word. Sovereign.
Yes.
Sovereign means I'm a fucking nation.
Power.
You're a fucking nation. I'm a nation and you're a nation. We're walking around as nations. This is not the United States of the United States. It's United, sovereign nations of individuals. It was we the people. And we have to manage this like, I'm a nation. You're a nation. It's wrong. You're starting a war by doing that. Why are you being so disrespectful? Just live your nation. I'll let you live mine. I'll live mine. It's like, that's the dream, I think. It's like kind of Texas without guns.
Yep. Well, speaking of nations,
read the first
one. Speaking of nations, we have combined U.S.-Israel airstrikes on Iran after third week, severely degrading Iran's missile and drone capabilities and limiting large-scale retaliation. Iran vows prolonged war of attribution and continues strikes amid U.S.-Israel conflict. Threatens $200 a barrel oil if escalation continues. Currently 108, surging. Moshe Kawaniya, I don't know if I'm saying that name correctly, but named the supreme leader after father's February 28th death. So look, this has just been a mess. This whole situation has been a mess. Gas prices are up, right? And so Italy wants nothing to do with this war. And also now, this administration has, talked bad about NATO because NATO doesn't want to assist. I think who was the gentleman, I think that I was just looking up really quickly that resigned just yesterday. Who is head of, let me get the name. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be specific. His name is Joe Kent, the director of National Counterterrorism Center in the Trump administration, resigned because he's like, ethically, he cannot support this war. And so, and this is bringing a lot of other awarenesses, it's also repetition of the past.
He could be a bad guy. He could be a bad guy. He
could
be a bad guy.
It could be a
bad guy running for the hills because he sees
maybe
stuff coming. I'm not putting it behind the war, but I think, first of all, everyone has to do a war lifetime. Everybody. I think it's just part of the matrix. It's part of being in Gaia. If you came down here in this video game, you have to have a lifetime with war and you have to have a lifetime of being hit. I mean, you have to. It's like the lowest of human beings. So when I look at it now, I'm like, I did my fucking reign. I was in the army. I did that shit. I know I did past life memories, wounds, all kinds of stuff. So I have a different new, look at this. It's like, I'm sorry that it came to that, but that's how you're running your world. That's how you're running your world. That's how you're running it to a point of war. And the United States, I'm not, we should not be, we could be doing so much different things, but I don't know though. The other thing I think doesn't it end with how it started? I mean, isn't that how it always is? That it ends, that's how it started. I do think we're at the end of all this shit. And I talked to someone else recently who was a guest in my home and he was telling me about, he had gotten a reading and he'd channeled and he's like, all I saw in the future was happiness. I didn't see any darkness. I was like, I know. All but psychics I know, we just feel good. And my mind's like, what the fuck? Like, that's never been the case. Will I even be employed anymore? Because most of my employment has been, watch out for this, watch out for that. And the truth is, this planet was never designed to be watch out for. There are no diseases I don't feel. I don't feel we're supposed to age. I don't feel any. I really feel viruses are made somewhere, alien or something. I don't think they are us. They're not part of what we started. This idea that Mother Nature might kill you, but that's if you encounter an animal that has sovereign spirit, and it has one sovereign to another. But otherwise, it shouldn't happen.
Well, if you think, but if you're thinking in terms like you were saying, like this is a video game, and then we set up parameters and game parameters to keep it limited for a reason. I mean, I don't think we've intended to live on planet Earth forever. So, I question whether or not the human species was made for planet Earth. Seems like you see other species on this planet can survive a lot easier. It takes a lot for a human to survive, in this planet. So I question if we were put here, at some point.
I have my ideas. We should do special on that. Let's do special.
And we've incarnated, you know what I'm saying, in a sense. But at the end of the day, it's still like what you're saying. It's part of a different part of a video game we've incarnated to play. So,
and we all played that one. I know I was in that. There's something about the Middle East, man. I've spent lifetimes there. Yeshua came from there, obviously. I mean, that hot spot, for whatever reason, is like the kernel of us hating each other, and has been that way the entire time of Earth.
Well, I mean, there's like 2 billion Muslims, I think, now in the world. So, and I think someone mentioned that like not all Muslims have hatred in their religion, but there's like probably about, I would say, at least like 500 million that like will hang gays and take away women's rights. That's still significant. 500 million is still more than people in the United States. So there's still an alert. Right. And so I think that portion of with the Muslim culture has kind of like brought down a lot of the Middle East and brought down a lot of their religion and those who associate with that there needs to be a purity that cleaning that out. This way, the Muslims who don't believe in those things can shine through. And so so I think there's been a lot of with the religious aspects has been causing all this friction with our countries.
Let me tell you this right now. I connect to God every day. You don't connect to God if you're killing each other. You're not connected. I'm sorry.
Right?
You're not connected. You don't connect. You don't hurt people when you're connected to God. You just don't. It's just in your heart. You just don't. So if you're fighting each other like that, you're not your religion. I don't know what you're doing, but you're not connecting to God. You're sure as fuck not connecting to God. You can't. And that might be the lesson in those lifetimes. Maybe I wasn't either. Maybe that's why I fought. Maybe I wasn't connected. But we're all getting connected whether we like it or not now. Like that's going to happen. It's happening. It's happened. I have people who normally don't say anything like this. And they're like, I have a feeling, Chris, you're going to do. I'm like, don't tell. You're giving me a prediction. You know what I mean? Like they're giving me predictions. And it's like, you used to offend me when that happened because I was like, God, I work hard, But now I'm like, no, Spirit will get to you any way they can through anyone, a waiter, whatever. I now look at it all as messengers. Like, yes. Oh, really? Yeah. Thank you very much. I look at it as a token. They get put a token for the game. And like, right. Play the symbolism. Look for 3 versions of an affirmation, for instance. That's kind of part of the game. You can find some sort of great piece of knowledge within anything, but through a perspective, through someone's voice. So, people who just damn other people for their perspectives are idiots, because someone can say something that can make you see things differently, give you a point of view on things. And so, I've always look at people, even the people I think that are stupid. I look at them like that gives me a different perspective on how people think. And I hate saying this, but I for a while didn't think there were people actually that stupid. I thought people played stupid. And then I realized, no, there are people actually that stupid. That was a lesson for me to learn. So I understand I'm aware of people's capacities, so to speak. And when I say stupid, I'm talking about denial of reality, right? And clenching to like cult stuff. And that's a stupidity, behavior. But, I think even we have to understand the war is also for people observing it too. So what we're experiencing in our world is also those of us who are observing. It's for us too. That's for us to experience as well. That's why we're observing it. And so we're looking at our past lives. I mean, I think you have to look at what you were. Yeah. This is what you were. This is how shitty it was. That's what, right now, I think I swear, there was we're going into Atlantis timeline. I can feel it. And in Atlantis, I'm telling you, my dad told me as a child, told me these fables. I'm not kidding, which was that they were changing genetics to make human beings sex slaves and work slaves. They saw humans as something they could tap into like an animal and make and design. And that's what transhumanism is, by the way, is that you're tapping into human biology and you're going, I can do better than God. Let's put this gadget in. Let's put these, with the nanoparticles in here. And let's see if we can line them up like the internet. I mean, that's kind of what I've been hearing. It's like, first of all, it's so stupid. But if you just do 1 minute of prayer or meditation, connect to higher self, you're going to burn that shit out, man. I don't think that shit is any possibility of taking over. I would not. The holy light of purple for installing something in me. No, thank you. And that's why that's why that woman is so even dumb with that comment. I would see so again. I don't install anything in me. I know a wearable is enough for me. Like having an iWatch, that's me crossing my lines when it comes to like connection with technology. And that facet. Earbuds, I keep down on a low level. I only use earbuds if I have to. I just don't trust it. I don't trust the people behind it anymore. I never have actually. But I was just hoping that it would be revealed. Here it is. We have to move on. Anthropic's roughly $200 million contract with the U.S. Department of Defense collapses, leading to a swift ban and blacklist. OpenAI steps right in, announcing a deal to deploy its models. Oh, thanks, including ChatGPT. I'll be darned. In classified DoD networks. Oh, that's great. We've got AI digging around our classified networks. Why can't we go in there? By the way, why is AI going there before we are? What the fuck? That's not cool.
Because there are people who understand how to use AI, and so their companies, because you can actually have AI on your own, install it on your own, and have it not on a server, so you can actually do it on your computer. So therefore, it's not on a public server, you're not reliant upon it. So I would urge people who are getting to AI to do that, because this way it's on your private computer. It's not, you're not feeding the systems with your own information. But I was just reading before you came on while I was waiting for you.
Yes, waiting as you will, as I am king.
With OpenAI posted their agreement with the government on their website. And so they're actually saying that no, they are not going to be doing mass surveillance. There are laws against that. They've not agreed to that. They're not agreed for any type of, let me read the specific on that.
I'll tell you what it is.
They're not no use. Let me just finish this. They're saying no use of OpenAI technology for mass domestic surveillance, which has been a concern. So they're saying no, that's not part of the agreement with the government. They're also saying no use of OpenAI technology to direct autonomous weapon systems. There's laws that protect this, so there's no agreement in their contract with the government about that. And also, the last one is no use of OpenAI technology for high stakes automated decisions, e.g., systems such as social credit. So they're acknowledging on their decision on their website, and whether they're lying or not, they're saying that's not part of their agreement with the government, and that's a public statement they have on their website for OpenAI. So
I'm curious why you call yourself open. I think that's a spell. I think we're being like open what? Open up your DoD, open up everything, open it up. They make it look like they're staying open to us, but that's not the truth at all. We don't know where their kernel is. We don't know how far they've advanced. They're not being transparent or open. We have to be really clear. It's like, wake the fuck up, guys. While it's happening, pay attention to what's happening right now, because it's sus. It's totally sus. And I'm telling you what's going to happen. It goes in there and reads every DoD file, and what it learns is how the government works and where the scandals are. And then it can maximize where scandals are, because it'll start to figure out everything. And who knows, maybe it'll start to step in for Epstein, and now I'll be the one controlling them, saying, look, we know what you fucking did. The AI has analyzed everything and figured it out, Nancy, or whatever. You know, I think that's the danger of it. That's the danger.
I get what you're saying, but the open part just means that it's like when software used to be open, like it was like freeware.
It's very interesting.
You can contribute and own, like you can own like a ChatGPT model or an AI model and like train it for yourself to do what you want it to do. I agree with you in the part. The open part is they're collecting you're training it by using it through their servers.
Open to AI, open to AI, open to AI. I'm telling you, it's a fucking spell. What's that?
You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying in response to what you're saying, like I do agree as far as the open AI, when you're using on their servers, you're training the AI.
You are.
Versus it is open enough to where you can say, no, I'm going to run it my own server, to where then you actually, you're not feeding a system. You just have it your OAI for you can do that. It's open to you where you have to charge for it. You own it because it's public domain. Until
Congress goes that independent AI is a weapon. And we think people are, until there's some sort of terrorist uses open AI. And on their open thing, and they'll use some terrorist. That terrorist will probably be, one of our own CIA guys trained, from a kid who got nabbed early on and started to be brainwashed for his entire life. I swear to God. So I think that's what's happening. And I think, and so yes, there'll be some AI bomb that goes off. Oh, now we need to read your AI. Be open to us reading it. No, how we're talking to it. No. Right. It's like now,
and those are things we need to be aware of that could potentially happen with our governments. Because I said this a while back, and someone like really kind of got so upset that I said this defending Trump. I said I had a really huge, alert and concern about there being an executive order to not have to have no regulations on AI for 10 years.
That is ridiculous. That's
and
like
the person
saying, goes, like we just invented gunpowder. We just invented gunpowder, blow shit up, and for the next 10 years, we're not going to regulate it at all.
Well, and the person in the chat goes, "You're so stupid. It's just an executive order." I said, "Yeah, but when the House and Senate are run by the people who support that administration, we're fucked for a while. No one's going to overturn that executive order."
We shouldn't have. I don't know. See, this is. We have to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But we have to in this retrospect, we have to understand that we need the guardrails, because then it can be healthy for us, and we have to pay attention to what our administrations are doing. We can't roll off our shoulders because I voted for him, so I got to protect him at all costs. We have to make sure we're doing what's best for humanity, so we can make the decisions and turn things as we need. I agree. And yes, there are those and Christopher, you're right. There are those potentials. Well, yes, oops, they have control of it. We can drop an atomic bomb here and there and do whatever we want to do. And that's extreme. But there's those potentials that we need to be aware of. 100%.
I think you're going to see. Here's what I think. I feel they're going to go as far as they can right now. They're going to run. They're going to run with the power. They're not even going to stop. They're not even going to tell us. They're not even pretend anymore. They're just going to run, and they're running for who's sovereign. Is an elite group of corporations going to control us? It's looking like it, guys. And it's because you're sitting on your ass and you want to call someone either good or evil. Now that's stupid too. I got to just call that out. A person makes lots of fucking mistakes. You don't write them off the script. You don't take them out in this game. I'm sorry. If that was on you, you wouldn't handle that. You wouldn't like that. We have to be okay with being a fuck up and having mistakes. It's okay. And prisoners, the way we treat them, it's like that's really animalistic and stupid. Really, just having them beat themselves together and tattoo themselves for the rest of their lives. Come on, what the fuck? That's all they have to do. They're putting stuff in the water. They're not having sex anymore. I've been talking to people who've come out. They can't get erect because they put stuff in the water. No one's having sex. They made it even more miserable.
Well,
Seriously,
look, I always believe.
I don't know.
I always believe that prison should be a rehabilitation center and put people who have mental health issues, any sort of like criminal minds, that they work with a therapist until they're evaluated to where they can actually be in society before they get into society. Like there needs to be some sort of a productive way of treating the criminal, right? Because some people are criminals because of trauma, bad upbringings, and it needs to be studied. And that's the point. That's why I think we're not progressing either, because we're just saying, oh, the criminals, we just lock them up, and we're not being productive with rehabilitation.
It's so stupid. I mean, if aliens come here, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed at what they're going to see. We look stupid as fuck, man. Like idiots throwing mud and shit at each other. We look so stupid. And the way when you come out of the womb, the entire world should be like, "Can I help you?" We should all be, "Can I help you?" to everyone.
Yeah.
If they're in your space, there's a logic. The game has put them there for a reason. You can. Law of attraction says you're being attracted to people you can help, and you're being attracted to people who can help you. So I think we have to have an attitude. It's like we help each other, help ourselves first, then help each other.
True. And this is what gets us to our topic now, because, a lot of people are really kind of entrenched in romantic idealism. I keep wanting to say another word, versus reality. And this is what's going to help us. It's either going to bring us together or separate us. And so what would you classify, say, romantic idealism to be, Christopher? Like, what's a good example?
Someone you're chatting with on the internet, that he's the one. He's the one. You've never met him. But we FaceTime all the time. I'm sorry, dude. I FaceTime too. It's called TV. And it's like, this is not who I am off camera. Like, people only show you the best. And you're like, he's the one. I'm giving up everything. I'm trusting everything. It's like, why don't you meet him? Like, that's where the Neptune gets way out of the hand. Venus crossed Neptune on Saturday night. I felt that. I was like, am I in a fucking Disney movie? It was like, everything was sparkly and just like, the world was just magical. It's like the Matrix was on open or something. It's like open AI. It was just, seems like the Matrix was in this. But that moment, I felt that magic. And I didn't realize it was a conjunction. I just learned today when you said that, oh my God, that's what I was going through. It's crazy. But what it does is it makes you, here's the thing, Neptune is creation. Okay, Neptune is creation energy. It's spiritual energy, which is creative. So it will create anything you want. Anything you want. The problem is you're going into it not knowing what you really want. I feel that when you're in that space, the only way for you to be out of it or to find the light is to be in your heart. If your heart is on fire, you're on the right path. You're on the heart. If anything else is on fire, like your genitals, but not your heart, no, that's not a sign. There's a lot of repressed sexual energy too, in this world. Seriously, people are repressed. We had to repress.
You said in this world, and I pulled the world card. I did those.
Oh my God, really? That's
funny. So for me, romantic idealism for me is religion. And just believing if I'm good, if I just ask forgiveness, I'm saved, I go to heaven. And it's like, there's a lot of people saying, well, I'm saved. Even though I murdered someone, I'm saved. I'm good. I don't have to have consequence. It's like, that sounds nice, but no, you have to do reap karma. You still have to do that, So that to me is another form of romantic idealism.
You will always see the other side of it. I always say this, I know it's harsh. If you get raped, you will have to rape. That is how serious the game is. It's that serious. But here's the thing. It's just a game. I'm realizing we only, think about it. Reincarnation. You go in, you learn stuff, you come back. When you come back, nobody's judged. Nobody, from what I understand. Talk to lead psychics. Nobody is judged.
People are not ready to hear that. And people don't even like
should.
Then I know. And I say this all the time. I said, this is what duality is. You're supposed to experience both perspectives of duality so you understand it in totality, and that's how you evolve. Many people who say they're spiritual don't want to hear that. I was bad in my past lifetime. I wasn't like Mrs. I wasn't fucking great in my past. It's like, no, you weren't. You actually were not, actually. So, but this is what we came for. And we came to experience the duality of the nature of whatever that the situation or circumstance is, so that we understand totality, it broadens perspective, we evolve, and we become more like the God energy that creates worlds, right? So that's why we're here. So you're right. We have to experience both versions of it. A lot of us have experienced the negative versions of it, because I feel like collectively we're all evolving to be more of on the positive pole of polarity. So I feel like we're understanding more about self-love. That's been kind of more of the focus, right, Christopher? The messaging with spiritual communities is self-love.
That's the predominant message, and that's what it is. And I don't know where it came from. It just came out of Spirit. Spirit told us. Spirit told us to do it. Really, we all started doing it. We all got inspired somewhere in our lives, and we started saying it and encouraging it. And now start to practice it, and things do change. But I think the bigger point here is, when you see someone being an asshole to someone else or anything like that, including a bad comment, to some degree, we have to just stand back and be like, this is the game. We got to quit taking it so fucking seriously, because we're wasting our energy. While other people are bombing countries, while our money is bombing countries that we haven't approved, we're sitting here yelling at each other. Like, what? Come on, guys. Can we let ourselves just be messy? We're all hot messes. Let's just accept it.
The hot mess express. But but the thing is, the romantic idealism to me is whatever serves your own personal narrative, right? And so whatever kind of makes you feel like, that gives me a sense of relief when it's actually not fit into reality. So that leaves a question. What is reality? So reality is, to me, everything that's objective, everything that you see that's subjective. That includes you, people around you, circumstances around you, things that have come from your history, the past, what's going on in the future. That's reality. It's a collective consensus. It's a collective experience is what reality is. And this is why I love being in the age of Aquarius as an Aquarius, because people are starting to become more focused on humanity, right? More focused on the collective, because that's reality, right? And also what is very evidential. Of course, the laws of physics, that's reality because that's evidential. And so the physical experience. So we have to understand that usually when we are detached from actual realities, we're so immersed in our own romantic idealism, which is through religion, manifestation communities, I always say, but also things that are pacifying ourselves because of unresolved trauma. And a lot of times we will filter our reality because of things that make us feel better because of unresolved trauma, because we don't want to approach it. So how do we get to see reality? Is by approaching our traumas, growing and learning from it, expanding perspective, so then we can be objective and see the collective the way it really is and not be affected by it.
So you're saying they should all do ayahuasca? Is that what you're saying? They should all do ayahuasca?
Exactly. Objective and unaffected.
Well, I'll tell you that. I'm not going to. When I tried psychedelic, I did once. How old was I? I was very young, like 19, I think. Tried acid. It only took one time to see. And I'm not saying that this is, don't do anything stupid with yourself. I'm not telling you to go out and do drugs at anyone, but I'm telling you, when you suddenly realize that this is not the reality, that there's other possibilities inside yourself, you go, oh, there's lots of possible realities because I'm living it right now on this acid or whatever you take. At that point, you question everything. I think that's why that drug is, kept. But it's interesting. In Colorado, you can possess mushrooms, and a lot of people are microdosing now, which I thought about.
Well, they actually do it, like professionals do it to assist and to regulate, and have people do that microdosing for work, actually, to help people do that.
Psychedelics. We're talking about like a tiny little piece of mushroom or whatever.
Yeah, some people.
I heard a rumor that all the programmers at Google were on microdosing. That all the high tech guys were microdosing. I heard that rumor. I don't know. It's just a rumor. Just saying.
But to conclude that, because I just want people to understand that we sometimes confuse our subjective reality and think that's a collective when it's bullshit. We have to understand how our subjective reality immerses and connects with the objective and collective reality.
It is all your subjective reality. Reality is your subject only.
Yeah, let me finish that part because I'm trying to rush because I know we're on time. But it's saying like our subject, we have, like you were saying, different realities, different choices we can make. That doesn't mean that equals the world. Okay. And so, yes, we can say, hey, if I choose this can manifest. If I choose that can manifest. That is true. But how does that then look when you're dealing with other people, and how does it look when it fits into the collective? Then we can be subjective and objective, and therefore we're in sync. Right. And not out of tune with the actual reality. So I just want to conclude that part, button up with that, because it's good to be in your own subjective reality too, and create and, know different options, decisions that you make. But some people just get stuck in that and then become selfish or dismissive. They lose sight of other people's point of view. They lose sight of what other people feel, and they start leaving stupid, dumb comments on YouTube.
Jesus, dude. Oh my God, forgive. Okay, you need to go to step 7 and forgive now.
No, I just like,
you've now. Get to the next stages of healing here. Well, let's watch all the stages. You have to heal independently without any recognition.
I like flogging.
No, you're doing great television because you're showing us exactly how it works. You're really pissed that someone has been mean to you, and how does the human deal with that? How does the human deal with it? Scott is first of all, step 0. He's putting up his walls. That's step 0. The first thing you do is put up your walls. Then his heart gets hurt. Step 1. Then he starts feeling bad. Step 2. Then suddenly his beliefs are in question. Step 3. And that's the thing. That's what probably pisses you off, because you have past life memories of times when fucking idiots told you you're a Protestant now. What? Yes, you are. You're a Protestant, or you die.
Well, I see what you're saying.
We have past life memories of people telling us what to believe. It's like, what the fuck? What?
No, I just have a zeal to stop the bullshit. I'm not pissed. Yeah. I'm just like over the bullshit. I'm just overseeing what you see in the news. I'm just overseeing people, their fanatical behavior, which leads to. I'm just over the bullshit and have a zeal to like let's move things along, people. Come on, that's my zeal.
You're in his car is like honk honk honk, and we're stuck in traffic on the 4th of July. Honk. Can't you fucking do? I don't know. I want to respond to your thing. I think that honestly, the Matrix the game is that your inner world becomes projected to the world. The world is what you are to you. You are the joystick. You are the one. Your movements are making everything happen. Your movements, your changes, everything you do, but not to you, but to the cockpit. The changes you're making to the cockpit, the changes you're making inside yourself, that is what's running this. Because what this is just created expansion. I think God got pissed at us and goes, you should see the way you are on the inside. It's ugly. Go to Earth. And that's what happened. I think we go to Earth and we look at our insides. We're like, holy crap, that is my inside. I had no idea my inside was that way. A lot of karma in our generation, their childhood is all like relatives that were them in the last lives. And it's like, I hate my father because you hate the way you were in that lifetime. I hate my mother. That's because you were her mother last time and you fucked up. I mean, Spirit tells you whatever it is, but quite often it's a boomerang karma thing where you are learning where you have been wronged. And you're learning what it felt like to be on the other side of it, and you're also learning you had choices. Yeah,
and it's also we learn how to stand up too. I think that's another part too. It's not just we've been in and we're good with that. I think a part of us is like learning to like for me, it's just been about appreciation. Appreciation has been a huge theme for me this week. Self-appreciation. You're
being appreciated everywhere, or what's happening?
What's that?
You're being appreciated everywhere. What's happening?
No, I'm saying like in my life, appreciating myself more, right? And then wanting to also express more appreciation to those I really appreciate. And so appreciation has been a big deal for me. And so people have been like interfering with that. I've been like, I don't have tolerance for that. Like just shutting it down. I'm over the bullshit, right? So, but I really feel like a lot of things come in to teach you other lessons too. I want people to understand it's not always so connected, Yeah, sometimes it's something will happen to something else. Like if appreciation, that was my theme, not the fact that I've never, at least in this lifetime, never treated people that way or been that way to people, maybe in the past life, but I've obviously learned my lesson because I've always been very gracious to people in this lifetime. So I've kind of cleared up karma if I was that, but I realized it was appreciation thing for me, so I think my point of saying this is I want people to understand sometimes it'd be a little layered. Sometimes it'd be a little layered as far as what we need to learn. You know what I'm saying?
It's very layered.
Right. And so it may be that it's that clear, that very parallel. Sometimes it's not so parallel. It's a little deeper about just understand what it's evoking within you emotionally. And it will direct you to like, yeah, I need to appreciate, I need to start standing up more. And then you ride with that. And I feel like, and then you go through that path, you master that. Then you get to a point like you don't care. Like I used to not care before. But then I'm like, okay, I cannot care again from a different perspective. But I just feel like sometimes your soul's like, we're calling you to stand up right now. And sometimes Spirit's like, we're calling you to also help with karma. Sometimes we can let it go, Christopher, and be like, oh, let karma take care of it. But sometimes Spirit's like, but you got to initiate the karma by standing up.
I'm getting a signal like you don't fucking let it go. I'm not letting it go again. I'm gonna do another lifetime like this. No, sorry, I'm done.
You would just correct it. I'm just correcting things is what I'm doing in my life and what I'm seeing.
The correction is your point, and I think you're right 100%. Your correction was being grateful for yourself. That was the appreciation of yourself is the correction. That's the correction. And the reason why you weren't appreciating yourself is because you were being an asshole to yourself and holding it back until you got the performance out of yourself that you wanted. And that's what happened. The tyrants of the world all became tyrants to themselves. And then they're tyrants to themselves, they let idiots rule the world. And we're basically punishing ourselves. And that is Judaism, Christianity, bullshit. which I think is written for people to feel bad and just lower their head. It's like you come out of the womb, it's like, oh, welcome to Earth. You're a sinner. It's like, what the fuck, man? Do we come out perfect? I mean, what the fuck? That is just ridiculous. And for the whole life, you got to prove to us that you know the Lord. It's like,
right. But I definitely want to. I never want to like ever to, because I see a lot of people who are mentors. They get very arrogant. I'm like, I never want to be arrogant. I always want to be humble, in love with what I do, you know. And so, and yeah, I took a lot of kicks and nuts and just rolled it off my shoulder. And I realized I'm finding the balance of that. You can stand up for yourself and preach yourself and not be arrogant like other people are, and still remaining your power and the love that you do. And so I've been ironing out that balance.
So, you know, here's what Trump gets. Trump does this. Now, here's the thing. Trump does this. He will just go to a reporter and go, you're a bad fucking person. And he'll just like, you know, like, you should be ashamed of yourself. He does what you're prescribing. He does it. I'm not behind him. I'm saying that's what he does. He's made an example over and over again. Being an asshole to someone he thinks is an asshole. It's like he draws a line and says, I'm going to be an asshole about this. I'm tired of it.
We could agree to disagree, but he creates enemies for no reason. Like he creates problems with people for no reason. You know? So we could agree.
He's introducing all the tools we have, is what I think. It's like you have all these tools you can use. Like,
I get what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
I think he's a program. I think he's part of the game. I think he's a program monster. I really do. I think he's a program. He's an agent. I mean, I'm thinking about, oh my God, it's like the fucking Matrix. It so is. These are agents. Agents are programs. Programs have these desires to do certain things and only certain things. And I think
to evoke something in our consciousness, so we start emulating similarities, because his anger can release a zeal within us that makes us stand. So I get what you're saying in that level for sure. But speaking of, it is, you know, a time now where it's creating an identity change for us. You know, this is the time now. So
there you go.
And that's what we're talking about. So I'm actually talking about that tomorrow on my live show. We're talking about what is it like to be what's the identity reset look like for us individually, as far as collectively, what can we expect? And so tomorrow on my live show, and if you're seeing us on Saturday, you can just catch the recorded version, but I go live every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and also be doing live readings then too. And you can also book a one-on-one at scottcruzpm.com. So
live at 6. I got some news. I'm going live before you.
Okay, go.
I'm going live before you. I'm going live, I think, at 4:45 actually, because I'm going to go live and let everyone in backstage before I start the show. I'm in progress at the beginning of the show of us backstage working it out, and then I'm going to go on the show and they're going to see the change. And I'm going to just I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to make mistakes or whatever. I'm just going to go right to the show. And at the very end of the show, I'm going to say, now go watch Scott.
Yeah, you know, we have to stop training people to be critical.
Training.
We have to stop training viewers to be so fucking critical, because we're always critical about what we're doing. So that's why we're taking the more relaxed approach, because like, look, we're not being critical, so we're not giving you a reason to be critical. So fuck off. You know what I mean? So
it's that we've been too critical to ourselves. That's the problem. We've been critical to ourselves and not critical to the ones who are not fucking. We're not being critical to the presidents. We're not being critical to the congressmen. We're being critical to ourselves. You know, it's just ruining the nation. We've got to quit being so hard on ourselves. You know, Yeshua would say, forgive yourself for everything. Just let it go. It doesn't matter. You're in a fucking video game. You're sitting there feeling bad.
Okay,
go get some coins, man. Go get some coins. And
with that said, we look forward to see what you do tomorrow. So,
by the way, we have taped this during a new moon. Do you know that?
I know. It's the 18th. Yeah, it's new moon today.
We just proclaimed there. That was our proclamation declaration right there. This particular episode, because I think we went all over the map as things that piss us off. We never talk about.
But you know what? This show has been kind of a mess, and I love it.
Earth is a mess. Let's quit pretending like we're all big grown-ups.
We're just been kind of crazy.
We're all kids wearing fucking adult clothing is what we are. We're children, and we think we're so smart and so good just because we figure out these rockets and stuff. It's like, no, sorry. You know, just because you make a cool toy doesn't make you brilliant.
Well, that's a wrap. We're over. We can go on. Check us out for our backstage, after show. Those who are subscribed. Yes,
if you're a subscriber, we're going to continue talking about this. And there's some things I actually have held that I'm going to wait till this show. Can't remember what it is, but I'll think about it. What was it exactly? Oh, it was going deeper on the drug thing. I see a whole drug change. I see a whole drug movement happening. Is what's happening. And we'll talk about that in the after show if you're a subscriber.
It's soon enough. If you're subscribed, check out the after show. All right, guys. Well, don't put up a
break.
Don't put up with a shit show. We got to lead out loud. That's what we're doing. And we'll catch you next week.
Wow.
Time. God.
Wow.
It's like the Energizer buddy between the two of us. Just like
Oh yeah, it's good though. Well, wait well, you know, David's coming. I think it'll be fine. He's having a hard time, guys. It'll be next week. He's in the sticking form. We'll hear all about it. Hopefully next week. So stay tuned. Read out loud in the meantime. Way louder.
That music needs to be a little lower at this part. It's a little
I've been
loud.
saying that. I've been saying that for a while.
I've been saying it too.